Say hi. Hi. This is a toothbrush. Hi guys. So I'm 32 weeks and 3 days today. Uh-oh. First of all, I finally weighed myself this morning and I have gained about 24 pounds, which is a good amount. I mean, I think it might be a little bit under like what they want me to gain, but they haven't said anything about it. They're perfectly healthy and I'm perfectly healthy, so it's just the way I carry, I think. Symptoms this week, I get lightheaded a lot, especially when I'm on my feet for too long, like if I'm cleaning or if I talk too much, then I just get like lightheaded and I have to sit down and drink lots and lots of water. Also, I am still not really leaking. I think I mentioned one time where I did one time. Like, I never leak colostrum ever. I don't know if it's just because my body's used to it or whatever it is, but I know there's nothing wrong with my body. My body is going to pick up breastfeeding right away. But it's just like, it's just weird because with Lilia, I started leaking at like 22 weeks or 24 weeks or something like that. And then I continued to leak and it got worse until I had her. And I haven't been having like anything at all. Also, I'm having a horrible time sleeping. If I didn't have a million body pillows, then I wouldn't be able to sleep at all. But I'm to the point where I have to sleep kind of upright. So I have like a million pillows underneath me, and then I have a body pillow on each side of me. So depending on which side I turn to, I can get comfortable. And I have to have it in between my legs. But the thing is, when it's in between my legs, it gets in the way of my stomach. And so my stomach's like pressed up against this pillow. Where are you going? Anyway, sleeping is crazy, and I'm sleeping okay. Once I fall asleep, I'm okay, but it's just hard to get comfortable and stay comfortable, and then I wake up with like kinks in my neck and all that fun stuff. Also, it is impossible to switch from one side to the other side, so I'll be like laying on my left side, and to turn over, I have to bring like 24 pounds, I guess, of me from one side to the other, and it's impossible. Like, I'll be on this side, and then I have to like roll backwards and then frontwards and then backwards and frontwards and then like finally get my stomach to like flop over to the other side. So it's like nearly impossible. Caden is awake all night. Well, he's actually awake all the time, so I guess it doesn't really matter, but like he's always awake all the time. And I'm hoping that's not how it's gonna be. Or maybe he just moves in his sleep. Let's hope it's that one. Kyson has the hiccups all the time. I don't think I ever feel Caden have the hiccups. I don't know if it's just where he's laying or wherever. Caden is constantly moving. Constantly. And about their positioning, I don't remember if I mentioned this last week, but when I had my appointment, he said that I had an option to do either start having a non-stress test 2 times a week or having a biophysical profile once a week. I had no idea what that was until I like researched it more. And what it is it's a non-stress test combined with an ultrasound. And so basically you are going in 2 times a week. It's just that one is an ultrasound and one is a non-stress test. And for the ultrasound part of it, the ultrasound tech just sits there and watches, like literally just watches the baby move. Well, the babies move and like counts their movements and make sure that they're not stressed or whatever. And then they measure the amniotic fluid around them to make sure that they still have room. So on Wednesday, I think it was Wednesday. Yes, Wednesday. He didn't really explain to me at all what it was, so I had no idea what to expect. I just thought I knew it was some kind of ultrasound, and I thought it was going to be combined with a non-stress test, like literally like at the same time. But what it is I went into my doctor's office for the ultrasound part of it, and they were like, well, since you're having twins, you can't do a non-stress test here. You have to go over to the hospital to have it done there. And so I was like, okay. So I was just assuming I was going to go over there and like do the non-stress test at the hospital. So anyway, I went back to the ultrasound room at my doctor's office, and she did just that. She just watched them, and we figured out that Caden is head up again, which sucks. And she was like, he's probably going to turn like 6 more times before he's born, so it's nothing to worry about. As long as Kyson stays head down, it's good. And he's so like lodged down there, I don't think it's hopefully it's not very possible for him to turn at this point. And she noticed that Caden has a lot more room, and that's probably why he moves so much more. He has so much more room than Kyson does, just because of the way that they're positioned. Because Kyson is head down, and he's like pretty much in my birth canal. I think I kind of explained that before. And then he goes alongside the left of me, and he's kind of facing the side right now. He's not facing front or back. And then during the ultrasound, Caden was back head up, so he was breech again. And his face was facing my stomach, so his back. He was like in the absolute worst position to deliver a baby. Because when she put the sonogram thing on his face, it was like his face right there. And I have some pictures, so I'm gonna go and show you guys. It's really hard to see, and the reason it's hard to see is because like normally when you see an ultrasound, you picture like a head and body and stuff, and these are really close up because they're getting really big. So I'll try to point it out, but this one is Kyson. So what it is here's it's a profile picture, which means it's like sideways like this. And here's his eye socket, there's his nose and his mouth, and then his chin ends there, and that goes down to his neck, and then there's his fist right there. So you can kind of see it. He's looking up. So you see his little eye socket, and then nose, and then chin. And then here's another one of him. It's his eye socket here, goes down, and then his nose goes up, and then it goes down. So you can see that's his whole head right there. So it kind of takes a second for your eyes to like adjust to the picture. And then Caden's is really hard to see. It's kind of easier to explain in person, but his is you're looking straight on at his face. So, alright, so this is his face right there. That's his full face. This is actually the umbilical cord right there. It looks like a little fist, but it's his umbilical cord. Here's the top of his head, and there's his two eye sockets. And then this is his nose and his nose bone, and then his lips, and then his chin ends there. So you can kind of see he's laying like this way, and he's looking straight up like that. So you can see his two eyes and his nose. So it's so white right there because it's his cheekbones and his nose bone. So you can kind of see that, maybe not. But yeah, there's his face there. And there's another one there. So there's his head and his eye socket, nose bone, cheeks, and his lips. And his lips are so big. He has some big old lips. And then here's another one. This one's pretty good. You see where the black part is his eye socket, so there's his whole head right there. And then his nose, he's all squished. And then his lips. And then there's the umbilical cord right there that goes up by his face. So that one's a pretty good one. You have to actually like picture a baby, because otherwise it's really hard to see. So I'm pretty sure Lilia stole my phone. Hold on a second. So yeah, that was the ultrasound part of it. And then after I got out of the ultrasound, I went back up to the front because I wasn't sure exactly where I was supposed to go. I was like really confused, and they weren't very clear about where I was supposed to go. So I went up there and I was like, yeah, they told me that I have to go over to the hospital to have the NST done, and I'm not sure like what I'm supposed to do. And she was like, let me ask this girl. So that girl was like, oh, you're the one having twins? And I was like, yeah. And she said, okay, well, you have to go through labor and delivery, and then talk to the security guy, and he'll tell you where to go. So I went across the street because it's just right across the street from my doctor's office. And I went across the street, I went into labor and delivery, and I asked the guy, and he was like, do you have an appointment? And I was like, I don't know, I guess. I mean, they told me to come over here. So they called the people in, and so we ended up waiting, and my appointment was at 1. It was now probably, well, my appointment for the ultrasound was 1 o'clock, and now it was probably around 2:30. I guess they had made an appointment, so I went into the room, and what they did is they completely admitted me to the hospital. Like, I thought I was just gonna go in like an appointment type thing, but they had me fill out all the papers. I had a wristband, like, and they gave me a labor and delivery room. They gave me like a whole thing just for the NST, and I was like, this is a little extreme. So they put me in one of the labor and delivery rooms. It took them forever to fill out the paperwork, and then I had to do a urine sample, and the girl came back in and she was like, your urine is really good. And I was like, thank you. It was just really like weird the way that she worded it, but she was like, you have really good urine. And I was like, so anyway, then I went, what they did is they hooked me up to 2 different monitors because there's 2 different babies, so they have to monitor each of the heart rates, and they measured contractions and the heart rate just to make sure that the babies aren't stressed or whatever. So anyway, backing up a little bit, the ultrasound lady said that Kyson's heart rate was about 123, and Caden's heart rate was about 147 or 148. So, and Caden has always had a faster heartbeat. He's just like a crazier kid. And she said that it might be because he has more oxygen, because he has so much more room. So anyway, then they took forever to find Kyson, and they said that Kaden is completely on top of Kyson. So they're no longer side by side like they used to be. They've turned like this. So Kaden is on top of Kyson. And that's why Kyson is so squished back there. And that's also probably why I don't really feel Kyson's movements as much. It's harder to feel him move. I can mostly only feel him on my hip bone.